You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. Brian Kelly, last week when he was meeting with reporters, was asked about the transfer portal, and he went through a couple of things. He said we could add a lineman, we could add some spots on defense, but really what they were looking for was depth. I'm paraphrasing. As a matter of fact, Brian Kelly was on off the bench earlier today with Hester and T-Bob, and the guys did ask him about their approach to the transfer portal. So this is what Brian Kelly said this morning on OTB about the portal.
I think it starts with understanding, our values, our program, clearly, culture first over the player, and they've got to fit what we do here. I've made it clear that, these players that are in the portal, we have to vet out and understand why they're in the portal. If they're in the portal because they've been, forced out of their existing program, then we better know about it. Is there an injury that's being masked? Is there an issue with their academics? Is there an issue with them in the locker room? We better find out what the issues are.
So a little bit maybe about the approach, but when you talk about positions, that's sort of what he was talking about a week ago. And one of the things he continued to mention, is on the offensive line. And LSU has offered Emmanuel Pregnon out of the transfer portal. So just a little bit of a background there. Pregnon is from Wyoming. Well, he's from actually Denver, but it has started his college career here at Wyoming. So, signed in the 2020 class, which was obviously the COVID year, so didn't play. 2021, redshirted, so didn't play in 20 because of the COVID year, then redshirted in 21. And then this last year in 2022, he was the starting left guard. Started 11 games for Wyoming in 2022. Big dude, 6'6", 318 pounds. Go look him up on social media. You'll see freakish workout videos. There's one of him front squatting, which looks like, I don't know, maybe that's about over 400 pounds that he's front squatting right here and repping on it, which is pretty incredible. So you're talking about a really big, really physical interior offensive lineman who was not very highly recruited coming out of high school, goes to Wyoming, develops physically into this 6'6", 318-pound athletic monster, and now he's looking to play somewhere else, probably take advantage of an NIL opportunity, play at the major college level, then go off to the pros, and he's got offers from a ton of people. Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee, Illinois, Oregon, Colorado, UCLA, and others. So lots of teams interested in Pregnon, and LSU is on that list. They've offered him. So for what it's worth, he's got 3 years to play 3. But he is draft eligible now. So he could theoretically play one year of major college football and then go into the draft, but he's got 3 more years. Essentially, COVID year didn't count for anybody. He redshirted in 21, so he's got, last year was basically his first year. Now he's got 23, 24, and 25 if he wants to use all of them and take advantage of the extra COVID year. Doesn't have to, but could if he ends up being like, a 6-year player, which doesn't have to be. But when we look at LSU, the thing we've talked about on the offensive line with LSU is depth. Remember, and this has been a conversation we've had here now for months, because as it was explained to me near the end of the LSU football season, LSU they felt like they were going to lose veteran offensive linemen to the portal because some of these guys who had been sort of waiting their turn and had fallen on the depth chart or been passed by young guys like Will Campbell and Emory Jones and some of the transfers like Miles Frazier. It was clear they were going to lose some of their veteran depth and they were going to have to replace it. And that's essentially what happened. You lost Marcus Dumerville, you lost Cardell Thomas, you lost Cam Wire, you lost Xavier Hill. You lost 4 veteran offensive linemen, and of course Anthony Bradford went to the pros, so you lost 5 linemen. You've got your first 5 that you feel really good about, like we've talked about from left to right. You've got Will Campbell, You've got Miles Frazier, you've got Charles Turner, you've got Garrett Dellinger, and you got Emory Jones. And then we can also throw in Marlon Martinez, right, who has cross-trained at several positions and got real game-time reps late in the season at center, really battling Charles Turner a little bit. So really you feel good about your first 6 guys. But after that, nobody on LSU's offensive line in that group had any meaningful experience after the transfers. So you feel good about your first unit, but we all know this, like statistically, the spot that is the most injury prone, where you see the most injuries every year in football, is on the offensive line. For all the reasons we know. It's physical, you're playing in a phone booth, big bodies falling, all that sort of stuff. So remember, a year ago, LSU used 6 different offensive line combinations in its first 8 games. 6 combos in its first 8 games. Now, they steadied late in the season. They found their first 5 and felt pretty good about it. Bradford's obviously gone now to the NFL, but Dellinger and Frazier had both played a lot, and those 3 guys rotated at tackle. So you still feel good about your first 5. You add Martinez, that's 6. Then what? Well, remember, they went and signed Mason Lunsford out of the transfer portal from Maryland. That's a guy who's played more than 30 games during his career there with the Terps. So you add, again, veteran depth. Okay, maybe pushes for a starting job. Maybe ends up being inserted if there's an injury or somebody struggles. But so now you're talking about you got 7 guys. And really what you want, you'd love ideally to have a 2 deep that had a ton of experience. But really what you want is 8. You're starting 5, and then a backup center, backup guard, backup tackle, who can be a swing player on either side of the ball if you have an injury and you know who goes in. Well, if you've got your 5 right now, and then Martinez and Lunsford put you at 7, you need one more. You need one more. Now, maybe Lance Hurd comes in and is the dude that he looks like, 5-star offensive lineman, has said, man, I know Will Campbell. Yeah, I'm coming to take his job. Okay, like, if you do, awesome. That means you've got tons of alphas running around and dudes that are all going to be first-round draft picks. That's a great, air quotes, problem to have. But I'd still want someone with experience if you can get it. It may feel like a luxury, but that's a great security blanket to have that much veteran experience potentially on your offensive line. I don't know what Brian Kelly can go sell a guy like Pregnon over some of the other programs who may have plug-and-play starting opportunities available, which may be the case, which is maybe why LSU won't be the most appealing spot. I mean, I just rattled off a list of schools that includes Auburn, Tennessee, Oregon, Colorado, UCLA, Illinois, Kentucky, lots of places that may have plug-and-play starting opportunities for that guy right now, and that may better fit him. But that's exactly the kind of prospect or kind of player that if LSU can add in this portal cycle, you want to add. And for whatever it's worth, when you look at these portal rankings, like players in the transfer portal, the rankings, Bear Alexander from Georgia, the defensive lineman, is number 1. They rank Emmanuel Pregnon from Wyoming number 2 as the second best player in the portal. So this is a guy that if you can get, man, you throw your hat in the ring, you go make your pitch and see if you can get him on campus. It would be really big for LSU if they could add that guy who, maybe he's looking for 1 year and then hit the pros, or maybe he's willing to come, be a rotational piece and start in 2024 and then hit the NFL or whatever the case may be. But 6'6", 318, a guy was a left guard at Wyoming this past year. LSU has offered him. We'll see if they can snag him. We'll keep you posted on that as it develops. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.